Hello, good day! Ito nga pala ang inyong Sir Jello at mayroon ako ulit ituturo sa inyo na math video topics. Pero bago yan, huwag niyo munang kalimutang mag-subscribe sa aking YouTube channel na Sir Jello para maging updated kayo sa lahat ng videos na i-upload ko.
Good day everyone! Welcome for another math tutorial video. It has something to do with similarity. To be specific, it's about similar triangles. So let us first define what is similar. So by just looking at the objects or pictures, say you have two triangles, two butterflies, and a pair of similar figures such as circles, cylinders, and hexagons. So of course we know that all of these pictures are similar. This is because when we say similar, it has the same shape but not of the same size. We use the symbol for similar, this one, which is read as is similarity. Now, there are conditions for two polygons or figures to be similar. Number 1, corresponding angles are congruent. Number 2, corresponding sides are proportional. So let us have our first example. So, for this example, we have two pentagons. So, the first pentagon named ABCDE. And then the second pentagon is PQRST. Now, to prove that these two pentagons are similar, we have to write or list down the corresponding angles and corresponding sides for these two pentagons. So first we have the corresponding angles. So let's say angle A corresponds to angle P. So meaning you just have to follow the position of the angle on the first pentagon that corresponds to the angle for the second pentagon. Then you have angle B corresponds to angle Q. Angle C corresponds to angle R. Angle D corresponds to angle S. And angle E corresponds to angle P. Now, in the event that we already have the corresponding angles, we can now conclude that these angles are congruent. So, that is automatically stated that if you have corresponding angles, then they are also congruent. Now, let's proceed now with the corresponding sides. So, we have side AB corresponds to side PQ, side BC corresponds to side QR, side CD corresponds to side RS, side DE corresponds to side ST, and side EA corresponds to side TP. So you have your corresponding sides. Now for these sides to be proportional, as stated in the conditions, you have to write it in a proportion manner, like this one. So we have AB is to PQ equals BC is to QR equals CD is to RS equals DE is to ST equals EA is to TP. So this is now in the form of proportion. Now, once we list down the corresponding angles and sides, which are congruent and proportional for that matter, we can say that, therefore, pentagon ABCDE is similar to PQRST. So therefore, these two pentagons are similar. So that is for example number 1. Now let us proceed with example number 2. So show that quadrilateral song is similar to quadrilateral beat. So as you can see here, we have given measurements. So we have 4, 8, 10, 6, and then you have 2, 4, 5, 3. So again, first is to write the corresponding angles. So angle S corresponds to angle B, angle O corresponds to angle E, angle N corresponds to angle A, then angle G corresponds to angle P. So the corresponding angles here are congruent. Next, we have the corresponding sides. So we have side SO corresponds to side BE, side ON corresponds to side EA, side NG corresponds to side AT, then side GS corresponds to side TB. And then we can now use the proportion for these corresponding sides. So you have it, and then you plug in now their respective side measures. So for SO you have 4, B is 2, so 4 over 2. For the other side you have 8 over 4, you have 10 over 5, and then 6 over 3. Now if you're going to reduce the lowest term of the first 4 fractions, this will be their common ratio, or this is called the common ratio, 2:1, since they will have the same lowest term for these fractions. And then to check if these corresponding sides are proportional, we can check by choosing 2 out of these 4 ratios to check the cross product property. Let's say 4 over 2 and 8 over 4, you have to cross. So you have 8 times 2, that is 16. 4 times 4 is also 16. So therefore, these are proportional. You can also use 10 over 5 and 6 over 3. Cross multiply. So 5 times 6 is 30. 10 times 3 is also 30. So you will notice that whenever you choose any 2 of the fractions, once you cross multiply or use the cross product property in proportion, they will arrive at the same product. So therefore, we can say that quadrilateral song is similar to quadrilateral beat. So let us have our first example. The two sides of one of the two similar triangles are 7 centimeters and 12 centimeters. If in the other triangle, the side that corresponds to the 7 centimeters is 28 centimeters. How long is the side that corresponds to the 12 centimeter side? So if you're going to draw or visualize this as a figure, so it will looks like this, number 1. So that means the corresponding side of 7 is 28 and the corresponding side of 12 is x. So this is the unknown side. So to solve for this side, we're going to relate this triangle to this triangle by writing the proportional of these two ratios. Okay, let's try. So we know that 7 corresponds to 28 as 12 corresponds to x. So that will be our ratio. So all we have to do is to cross multiply 7 times x. That will give us 7x, and 28 times 12, that is 336. Then we're going to divide both sides by 7. So the value of x will be 336 divided by 7, so that is 48. So the side corresponds 12 is 48. Okay. Next example here, we have triangle toy is similar to triangle gun. So if you're going to look at triangle toy, we have side TO with 6, side OY with 5, and side TY with 8. Now for triangle gun, side NU is unknown here, so that is represented by X. Side GN is also unknown, that's represented by Y, and then side GU is 12 units. So we're going to solve first for either X or Y. Okay, so what we're going to do is to write the proportion or the equality of two ratios wherein one ratio has the given numerator and denominator, while the other ratio, either the numerator or denominator is given and then the other is unknown. Okay, so in this case we have the correspondence or corresponding side to solve for. First we're going to solve for x. So solve for x. So we know that OY corresponds to, or side OY corresponds to UN, since the positioning of the letters are not corresponding. So what we're going to do is to relate this side OY, which will be similar to or corresponding to this side UN. So you have OY over UN. That will be equal to TO or side TO over GU, which is the corresponding side. So this is our proportion. Let us now substitute all the values. So side OY, we have 5 over UN, which is the value of x, or the unknown variable, equals this side TO is 6 over GU, which is 12. So this is now our proportion. So we can now cross multiply. So we have 6 times x. We have 6x. 5 times 12 is 60. Then we're going to divide now both sides by 6. So the value of x here would be 10. So this is 10. Next, to solve for y, we're going to relate now the first triangle, which is side TY, to the value of y, or to the unknown variable y, which is gn. So we have ty, which is 8 over gn is y, equals, again we're going to use TO over GO, since this is the only corresponding sides that both the numerator and denominator is given. So TO is 6, GU, side GU is 12. So this is now our proportion. So the next step is we're going to cross multiply. So 6 times y, we have 6y. 8 times 12 is 96. So divide both sides by 6. So y is equal to 16. So that is the final answer. This is 16. So I'm going to write the corresponding sides which are proportional to one another. So we have OY over UN equal to TY over GN equal to TO over GU. Then replace all the values. So OY we have 5 over 10. So TY you have 8 over GN is 16. Side TO is 6. GU is 12. So you will notice that the three ratios are proportional, since they will arrive at the same lowest term, which is 1/2, or we can write it as 1:2, which is called the common ratio. Okay. So therefore, we can say that triangle toy is similar to triangle gun. So that is how we solve for the unknown variable by writing first the corresponding angles, then followed by the corresponding sides. In this case, corresponding sides, and then solve for the unknown variable, and then check for their common ratio. Okay, so that will be all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.